With Star Wars Episode 9 as a conclusion to the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself, we can only imagine how much stress J.J. Abrams is really going through on trying to make this the best Star Wars movie out of the entire sequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, with all of the different script rewrites and adjustments and some reshoots planned for the first act of this movie, only minor reshoots have you, but looking at Episode 9 specifically, we do know that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are very much hard at work on developing this movie to be the best Star Wars movie of this trilogy. Now, looking at J.J. Abrams specifically, we do know that he will be combining all 9 movies into one. Now, today we've been learning a whole lot more about Episode 9. Adam Driver spoke out today with Vulture. He spoke briefly about his character Kylo Ren and in response to Episode 9 and his overall experience as an actor being on the Star Wars set and all of those different things. The other thing is about the big story today about Matt Smith quite possibly playing a young Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 9. If you guys didn't see that, I actually covered that in my past 2 videos if you want to go ahead and check it out, or if you guys want to go ahead and search it up on Google. Very interesting stuff for sure. Now, looking past all of this, J.J. Abrams apparently plans on redeeming this trilogy, the sequel trilogy, with Star Wars Episode 9 by fixing certain elements from The Last Jedi, and that will be done in Star Wars Episode 9. So J.J. Abrams wants to redeem this trilogy by using Episode 9 as a course correction technique. Now, we learned about that briefly just the other day, that Disney looks at Episode 9 as a course correction. But with J.J. Abrams and, his vision of Star Wars, Episode 9 is going to be a way of redeeming this trilogy. Now, when I'm looking at the sequel trilogy, I kind of am getting the feeling that this trilogy is going to kind of mirror that of the prequel trilogy, where the 2 films before the last one aren't going to be as good. So, for example, the prequel trilogy, I believe it's safe to say that Revenge of the Sith is easily the best movie of that trilogy. I think that what's going to happen with the sequel trilogy with Abrams is he's going to make Episode 9 the new Revenge of the Sith of this trilogy. So it's going to be better than both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens combined. And the reason as to why I bring this up is because we do know that he's combining all elements of the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the sequels into one massive film. Now, this is going to be a mega event by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is the final chapter movie, and the fact that J.J. Abrams wants to redeem and fix certain elements in this film, I think is rather inspiring. Now, does this mean that J.J. realizes the mistakes, perhaps, that Rian Johnson made in The Last Jedi and sees the feedback from the fans and how a lot of hardcore fans and quite a number of casual fans out there as well are very much upset with how the character of Luke was treated, how certain elements were pretty much written in Star Wars The Last Jedi? Maybe JJ is actually looking at that as an example, and that could absolutely explain the script adjustments and rewrites that we have been hearing about these past 2 months or so, give or take. So J.J. Abrams, I think that the fact that he's back closing this trilogy, it's kind of a shame in a way, because like I have expressed many times before in the past, and I'll always say this, is that I really feel like that J.J. Abrams should have just stuck around until The Last Jedi, and then maybe at that point in time, if he really wanted to, he could have either closed with Episode 9 or left and, given somebody else the opportunity to direct Episode 9. But I feel that he should have actually written all 3 films, directed all 3 films, to make all of the continuity pieces match up like a puzzle, and to just kind of fill in the overall tone of each movie, because to me, The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, if you look at those 2 films, it's almost as if The Last Jedi is a separate movie in itself. I don't know about you, but The Force Awakens had so many questions that were left unanswered. It's as if J.J. Abrams was setting up something huge for the second installment of the trilogy, and those answers, actually were just completely left out of the equation in The Last Jedi that, well, maybe will be answered in Episode 9. Now, we do know that Episode 9 has a lot of potential. You know, the Knights of Ren, Supreme Leader Snoke's return. We've been hearing about Palpatine's involvement in Episode 9. A lot of things are happening for this movie, and I feel like that the whole aspect of nostalgia and fan service are very much needed in order to really draw in a lot of Star Wars fans after, you know, the experience of The Last Jedi and all. So anyways, guys, I would really love to hear your input about everything in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.